No, no.
Yeah.
No, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but yeah.
Podcast.
That was good.
Thank you. That's a vocal fry warm-up.
Hello
Hello.
and welcome.
Välkomna.
I know I say it every time, but welcome to episode 11 of Favorite Cheese. I just think it's fun, and I can't wait to get to the point where I'm like, welcome to episode 3065 of Favorite Cheese. I don't know what the math is.
Delman
on
and
how
Weasel
many
passed
years.
away a long time ago, but we're still here.
How dare you?
Stay cozy. Signing off.
Signing up. It's just me and Frank.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah. And then
Yeah,
I'm doing
yeah,
both
yeah.
of the voices.
Yeah, no one's like...
Everyone's like, look, I listen only to,
Yeah.
I feel bad, so I have to keep
Yeah.
listening. Yeah. No, I can't wait.
It might work out for you. Wow.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I can't wait. It's going to be, and we're going to be all George Jetson-y, and it's
Yeah.
going to be like, beep, 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 and it's like, you're downloading this in your brain. How far away into the future do I think this is?
I don't know, but technology's moving fast.
Oh, it's moving
This could
so
be
fast,
5 years
baby.
from now.
It's moving so fast.
Hello, my name is Andrew Delman, and this is my wife, Lee Newton.
Hi.
We are a couple of comedians, and we're a couple of comedians.
Oh, God, no.
Favorite Cheese is a podcast we created to where we kind of like invite you over to come hang out and have a cheese board with us and talk some shit
Yeah.
and make some laughters.
On this episode, we talk about a sexy romance series that I'm diving deeply into.
My problem with the Bachelor
Yeah.
and my notes for improvement.
Good. We
Yeah.
also get to hear some pretty sexy dreams that Delman's been having.
We get to hear about some of my secret dreams that
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed of.
And we have a new segment called Hypo-feta-cals. Get it? Because
Yeah.
of cheese.
That's nice.
We'll just do a little would you rather to warm up your brain sack. Someone talked about doing hypotheticals, and
Yes.
I'll say I'm actually going to read his email because I think it was fantastic. He said, Delman deconstructing the idea of having bed sheets made of deli meat in episode 7 and questioning the reason behind it was so freaking hilarious.
Nice.
I think we need at least one hypothetical scenario every week. And then he goes on to say, hypothetical scenarios,
like
maybe.
feta cheese.
Feta cheese. And I
Hypo-feta.
think
Cool.
that's fantastic.
That's great.
And I'm saying
Keep it
hypothetical. Here we go.
Yes.
This is exciting. Were you ready?
Yeah.
Would you be willing to have your left middle... Sorry. Would you be...
I'm scared.
No, it's not bad. It's really...
My left what?
It's so stupid. That's why I think it's so
Okay.
funny. Would you be willing to have your left middle finger surgically removed if it meant you'd never get sick again?
Would I be willing? That's
Yeah.
a weird thing.
Well, it's like, would you remove? Not like,
but
be
what is like,
willing.
would you be willing? Come this way. Like, that's a weird...
Tricks on you. We just need to know
Yeah.
you're willing.
I'd like to know what my middle finger's doing.
Okay,
What's the
no,
purpose
it's-
of it?
Look.
Is it going to someone who needs it?
No, you're just removing.
That's weird.
Yeah, but then you'd never get sick again, Delman.
We're talking no cancer, no anything.
Never sick again.
So how am I going to die? Bus
Old
accident?
age?
No,
Oh,
not dying
God,
of old
probably
age.
a bus
I'm
accident.
not dying of sickness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I guess, yeah, fine. Left middle finger's gonzo.
yeah.
Then I'm
right?
just like, I'm immune to everything. Cough on me.
Oh my God. And then would you do it for the greater good? Would you like
What does
be
that
a
mean?
healer?
How
Would
could
you
I
like,
heal? How would I be able to do that?
because you're never going to get sick again. So like in the crazy words with outbreaks, you could literally be like, I'll go in. I'll take care of them. I'll never get sick again because I have no middle finger.
I mean, no, I don't know what I would be able to do. But if they needed a guy immune to stuff, yeah, I'd go in.
Duh, you have to.
Sure.
That's your responsibility.
Am I the
now.
only one? No one else got this offer?
No.
That's
sorry.
weird. What would you? Yeah, I guess in that scenario, if they're like, hey, you're immune to everything, will you go into that sick place and help them? I'll be like, hell yeah, I'm immune to everything.
I have no middle finger.
Yeah,
But it's okay.
Yeah, I already don't use my middle finger, so I'm all right.
You're right, because the other day we got cut off in the car, and I thought, like, because Delman it doesn't suffer from road rage.
No.
So it's so frustrating sometimes.
I learned how to drive in LA.
Yeah,
That's where
you did.
I got my license.
And I will say, like, between us, like, I'm not a road rage person, but I certainly am, like, I will lay on a horn. And we live in LA, so it's bad drivers. It's notoriously bad drivers and bad traffic.
Yeah.
And literally the other day we got cut off by a real jerk. He was already being a jerk, and he cut you off on purpose. And I was like, oh, this is going to be the time when Delman flips him off. And you just gave him a thumbs down. You just looked at him directly in the eyes, and you thumbs down, and you shook your head. And like, I will say, like, he made eye contact, and he kind of did like it
easy.
Smacked him a bit.
It's easier if someone meets you with aggression. It's easier to be like, he's an a-hole. But if I'm just like, I disapprove, like I dadded him. I was like,
you're a loser.
Well, I used to give him a thumbs up and like, okay, but then they
misread it.
So the thumbs down, and they're like, you let me down and they feel it. Yeah, you got to adapt to these people, you know, like they want the anger, and if I don't give it to them,
man,
they don't know what to do.
Oh man, they're like, I'll cut you off again. Give me a thumbs down.
Yeah.
Well, you don't even need a middle finger. You're great then. Great. I guess you're never getting sick again.
Yeah.
I want all my middle fingers. So.
For what?
I'm just kidding. I would totally do that. I would. In a heart. If I don't get sick again ever.
Yeah.
That's a dream.
It's a dream.
Take both of them. Take both. Take a hand. Well, because that's
not. The question is luckily not specific enough. So I would ride that out with whatever genie or whatever. Sure. If I got, an infection or something, I'd be like, that's count as sick. Like, get rid of it.
Everything is sick. Yeah,
so
sickness is like
if
a real
I could
deal.
get rid of all of sickness, the only thing that will kill me is an accident.
I mean,
old age is technically is a sickness.
I don't know if that's true.
Mm-hmm.
You think so?
Yep.
That's semantics. We're gonna need to.
That's what I'm saying. But they left it really open. So I mean, I'm dying in like parachuting or like a car or like an accident. Yeah. You know. So
no, you're right. That means that you're actually going to seek out death.
Yeah.
You're going to just be so old.
I could do anything. I don't have to worry about anything.
That's not true at all.
Heart disease.
You still
it's
have
all
to
gone.
worry about a lot of things.
No.
Money.
Time,
effort? There's a million worries.
Yeah, but I'm just not going to be sick, so I'll figure it out. So.
Oh my God, that means that you're going to just drink into oblivion.
I mean, why not?
If you never got hungover, that's technically a sickness.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
So, I mean, I wouldn't because I don't, but I mean, like, it would just be nice to not worry about it.
Yeah. I loved that. I think that was beautiful. And now we learned what you're willing to do. And I think I'm so proud of you for that.
Great.
Okay, I'm diving right into my fun
Please
because I think it's a very fun one. So over like the last few years, there was something I got into. I realized that like by my bedside table, as you know, like every single book that I'm reading can really just be boiled to like science fiction fantasy. Like I love like Ursula Le Guin. I love like there's a bunch of Name of the Wind. There's a bunch of different books that I've been reading, but all of them I'm like obsessed with fantasy. I love them so much. I listen to Harry Potter every single night in order to fall asleep, and that's real. But I got into this series like last year. I got really into it, and it was a Court of Thorns and Roses. And it is a fantasy series. It is also one of the overarching themes is a hot book.
Yeah.
It's
sexy.
And I will say like it's actually one of the better because I've read a lot of fantasy that like disguises itself as fantasy and it's just you're just reading softcore porn. But this one in particular is actually like it has like so many like beautiful lands that they've built out. They've like built out. You gotta
get to book
worlds.
3 before it gets real hot.
Yeah, I mean, no, is it? I don't know. We're not even there. I'm not even there yet.
Whoa.
Cheddar. But no, I got kind of obsessed with it. And so I started re-listening to them because I was like, you know what? I need to re-listen to the first one just so I can get my head back in the game.
Yeah.
And I do that thing where like I'll read it and I'll listen to it because years ago I heard that it like puts it in different processes of your brain, and I actually fully believe that.
Works for me better because like when I was a kid, I don't know what it was, but if I'm reading it, I'll get really tired or I'll zone out.
Yeah.
But if I listen to it, and I remember like feeling like I was cheating, but in my mind I was like, if I listen to the whole book though, that's not cheating. Every word.
No.
So I remember it was like a summer assignment or something, which we used to have, which were horrible. And it was the Scarlet Letter.
Ah, good.
And I remember,
yeah,
and I remember like it was a good narrator, and it was like Hester, and I like
Hester Prynne
enjoyed the book. Like I listened to the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I like it was the only time or the first time when I discovered audiobooks in high school that I'm like answering the questions and the teacher's like, wow. And I was like, I discovered audiobooks.
Really? And she's like, you cheated.
No, she was just happy that because half the kids just read Spark Notes.
Sure.
You know, so.
I'm sure. Well, so I do the thing where like, especially because we have very busy lives, I don't think I'd be able to like sit down and like spend the amount of time reading it. So it's really easy when you're like driving somewhere, you can listen to it, or when you're cleaning,
I like to read
you can
when
listen
I drive.
to it too. And then at night, I always like have my little Kindle, and then I do all that. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is, it's a very spicy book. It's also a very excellent book as far as fantasy goes and adventure and heroine and yada yada. Very good in that sense. But it is also particularly horny.
Did you tell them what it was called?
A Court of Thorns and Roses. And so I'm not gonna like spoil anything, but one thing that is very weird is that like there's fairies in this world. There's fairies.
Are they hot fairies?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Of course they are.
These
They're
are
like
hot fairies.
smoking hot fairies.
These are built buff fairies.
The other funny thing about it is that like it'll be like very graphic and like, sexy scenes, but because they're also like fairies mixed with like animals, it's a very weird thing to literally be like,
he took his hoof.
Yeah. That's exactly
and
it.
wrapped it
It'll
around
literally
his
be like,
torso.
he caressed her thighs with his with his claws, and you're like, oh wait.
Oh yeah. Ooh, do I like claws? Is that what you've been asking me to like make a claw? No,
I will say that is a funny thing of like, no one ever tease anyone about reading that, because if you're in a relationship, you reap the benefits of a mind being 24/7 horned
Did you read
up.
that book again?
Do you want to read that book again? You should read that
one more
book
chapter,
some more.
maybe.
Do you want to call me Tamlin?
Yeah.
But I think it's a very funny thing of literally like listening to it and being like, oh, this is getting steamy, and then they're like the scales on his back, and you're like, wait, hold on.
But keep going.
Wait,
he was cold-blooded, but this time his blood has boiled.
And his beautiful scales and his bifurcated tongue, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute.
His thick barb. You're like, wait, what? But please keep going.
I love it, but also, it's a pretty weird, like, not only to sit there and like listen to it.
I get it.
What I will say too is honestly, it has one thing it's done for me is like, oh, write whatever you want to write.
Oh yeah.
Because somewhere this woman was like, yeah, I'm gonna write about a half lion man roaring as he climaxed, and she's a millionaire. And so
the human brain is not that creative.
No.
We just need. I remember like, and I told you this, and you thought I was very weird, but like. The first like sexual dream I can remember was that
you don't need to tell the world,
I was
but
like,
I love it.
I was a worker bee. And the queen bee and we had a little rendezvous in the honeycomb. and I woke up and I was like, whoa.
Someone told you the birds and the bees, and you took it.
No.
Literally.
We watched a video. It was like birds and the bees, but they used the bees and stuff. And I was like, damn, like all those workers and that queen bee.
What?
Whoa,
what?
And that's
what?
like a special time when they get with the queen bee. And so I'm getting hot right now, but I'm just saying, like. It's kind of cool, you know.
You can't control your subconscious, you know.
You just can't.
But really, write what you want to write.
Took his stinger.
Took his beautiful stinger applied against her backside.
Her thorax was thrust.
It really does throw me off. But one other thing that happened.
All four of her wings.
Beating in unison. One thing I will say that did happen, and I rarely get embarrassed. It's like it's a very rare moment that
I don't know if I've ever seen you embarrassed.
That's fair. And it's honestly, it's just know why
I get embarrassed. more than you.
You get embarrassed for me.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't ever really get embarrassed. But I was listening to it on the way to getting a hair appointment, and then I literally like pulled out my phone to show my hairdresser like the color that I wanted and stuff, and it literally was like his quivering body and breath angled on my thighs, and I was like so
and she's like Tamlin. Like
Tamlin, is it Court of Thorns and Roses? Book 1.
Yeah.
So literally, I think I was one of those where I was like, I don't ever really get embarrassed, but that was one
like
moment
how you
where
embarrassed?
because it was loud as shit, and also it was very specific. It literally was like his hot breath caressed her inner thighs,
nice.
And I'm literally like sitting there like, and she was laughing, and like everyone heard too, and they were like, what are you listening to? And then I will say,
and then you
by the end of it, they were like,
all,
what was you called?
You turned
again?
it on for all of them.
Court of
and
Thorns?
it's like, and he did what?
And then remember last year when we went to Yosemite, one of our friends was reading it, and I like read it out loud as like, oh, this is fun. Like while you get ready, like how about I read this out loud to you?
She was on book 1.
She was on book 1.
We were all able to catch up.
And so literally I was like, what if I like read it out loud to you, like as you get ready, and it'll be fun? And she was like, yeah, totally, because we're in the middle of the woods, and yay, that's cool. And then literally like 3 nights, I read it by the fire, and
all of us were like, keep reading. And even as we were leaving, like the weird camp host was like, what was that book you were reading?
Yeah. the weird guy listening to it.
Do you do voice stuff? Because that was, what is it called?
What is it called?
Yeah, I'm going to
miss you. And then all of
guys.
our friends like literally were like, we're going to buy the book when we get home.
Yeah. I changed my name to Tamlin actually, legally, so.
So that's my fun do is that like diving back into that world. It's a pure delight. It is also like you have to approach it with like some amount of like, this is ridiculous, but it's absolutely addicting, and it's well written, and it's fun as all hell. And I love that side of it. I love being like, wow, I'm immersed in a new world. Mm-hmm. It's a weird one.
But I'm
in it. If you are a fan of ACOTR, that is a Court of Thorns and Roses. That's the abbrev on that one.
Okay.
If you're in the Los Angeles area and you want to form like a book club or something, I'd be down. I'd be very down to explore the
But
themes.
only that book. No other book.
No other book. Let's dive
in order, and then we'll talk about
re-listen. It's all come in character.
All right, so we read For Whom the Bell Tolls. Actually, I read book 4.
I read book 4. You're talking Sylvia Plath. I am talking fairies and lovemaking, baby.
I want to hear what she has to say. I don't care about that book.
Yeah, I'm ready if you want to.
That's great.
Just let me know.
Yeah.
Just approach me at acotr at favoritecheese.com.
Yeah. I'm still reading this HTML manual I just started.
Good for you. Good for you. Is it as sexy as it sounds?
Well, it is CSS 5.
So
yeah. I'm not an expert in everything, but in the things I am really knowledgeable at, I am really knowledgeable. Yeah. And my favorite thing is when someone's like, oh, yeah, me too. When it's like bagpipes or something or coding, and then they just start saying things, and you're like...
this person has...
No, but that's when I go... I get like the fake it till you make it or trying to fit in, but in my mind, I'm like, you're just lying to me because I know. And
do you ever want to be like, hey, I know you're lying?
No, my problem is I'm afraid of confrontation like that.
Yeah, that's a fact.
But I'm also King Troll. Like I got Nathan Fielder vibes as well.
That's true.
So I would just start making stuff up too.
Yeah.
And they probably in their mind are like, this is going great.
I got this.
But in my mind, I'm like, can you believe? You're
having a great time in your head.
Like one of my favorite things is like this guy who always used to try and fit in. It was like Jimmy Kimmel did a similar thing at Coachella, but he'd be like, oh yeah, I'd say, oh, do you like the band? And I'd name like a fake band, and he'd be like, God, I love them, and I'd be like,
just trying to fit in,
and I'd be like, what's your favorite song? He's like, oh man, it's on like a mix, but I think it's like track 4 on the and
haven't we all been there?
But my problem is I would just keep going for like, and then we just make up a band, and I'm like, and Roy, the lead singer,
and then at the end of the time, you're like actually in love with them, and you're like, yeah, right, we should go to a concert, guys.
Let's go check them out.
Honestly, I'm ready if you are. They're playing at the Ergelstadt in May.
He's just like, I can't find these tickets anywhere. Was he making it up? I know I was.
I had a
but
life.
We had a great
It's
night.
like when you fall asleep and you. All right, that's fine. We can move on. No, I meant like we can move to a different idea.
I said it was good.
I know. I was just saying.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like when you have a dream and then you wake up and you're like, wait, I had a family and we lived in a beautiful treehouse and oh my God, we had a life together.
Yeah.
You know, and then you wake up and you're like, oh, nothing. Anyways, that's not at all similar, but you know, we've all had those, right?
Yeah, sure. Mine are more jumping dreams.
We don't
or I'm running from something. Bears a lot of the time.
A worker bee. That is.
Well, those are lucky dreams when those come along. Not every day.
I want to know what the dream analysis is. People are really good at dream analysis on the internet. People are very good at it. I had a Harry Styles dream and someone pinned me
but
right
that was funny
on.
because he didn't want you.
No, it was just my mind was cock blocking me. Like literally was like he was into me and then we were at a concert and then he was like, "Hey, I like your cool shirt." And it was like a vintage Elton John shirt and I was like, "Oh my God, Harry, do you want my Elton John shirt?" And he was like, "Totally." And then I gave it to him, but then I was wearing my like really gross, sweaty, disgusting bra. Like, you know, the old lady one. And then he was like, "Oh." And I was like, "Oh." And that was my mind being like, hey, it's not gonna happen with you and Harry Styles.
See, that's why you have to learn how to lucid dream.
Yeah, you're right. I
I've been working
have to
on
learn.
That. Yeah.
I have to
Because then
learn.
when you realize it's a dream, you're just like, bam.
It
I don't
putty
even
in
know
my
whose tits
hand.
these are. You know, but they're perfect. Yeah. And we're
Have
doing
you ever
this.
been a queen bee?
Actually, I'm the queen bee.
I'm the queen.
You're the worker.
worker bee.
Yeah.
That's the dynamic we've decided.
This is just getting weird
It
and
really
hot.
is, and I really and hot. That's gonna be
Give
the
me
title.
the honey,
The
baby.
title is gonna be "It Gets Really Weird and Hot."
Pollinate me.
That actually feels inappropriate.
I'm telling you.
Wow,
There's a lot we
you're
can
right.
do in the bee
It
world.
is getting
Maybe I should
steamy.
write this.
I told you should. If you don't write this like romance novel,
Yeah.
well, I don't know what they're called. They
It's
are called
called
something
colony
specific.
collapse is what the thing is
God
called.
damn it!
We
Cheddar.
have to get out of this hive together. But I can't. I'm betrothed to 1,000 other bees. Well, you're the queen. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. And that's not how it happened. But sure, we got out together.
That's not exactly how it happened.
We're fine. We didn't sting anyone. Actually, I did end up, in the dream, I stung someone for her to protect her, and I did end up dying. And that's how I woke up. But it was very romantic. She got there. That's the job of the worker bee. That is the job. You don't always make it out. You don't.
Please, someone analyze this. Please.
I was like 12 and 24 and 35 when I had the dreams.
Oh my God. I wonder if it was like past life regression.
I was a bee, which is why I'm afraid of bees. I died that way.
Oh, someone please give me the best analysis on this beautiful bee dream.
Man, I think it's good.
It's great.
I think this is where that Jerry Seinfeld movie was supposed to go, but it didn't go that
They're
way.
like, hey, DreamWorks, this took a turn.
I'm trying to get with the queen bee. All right.
Hey, we have a revamp for the bee movie, and it's dark and it's gritty.
And it's sexy. Robert
It
Pattinson is the worker bee.
Wow, it is so sexy.
Well, that was a pretty good one.
you-
Pretty sexy.
It's really sexy, honestly. Very good stuff. Excellent stuff. Do you have a camembert?
I had a few, but since we're sticking on the sexy and the not sexy,
one
there's
said
something
that.
that's unbelievably bad.
Oh.
Yeah, it's unbelievably bad, and I camembert it.
Wow. This
Yeah.
is 2 cheese puns in a
And
row?
It's cheesy and cheddary, and I don't love it. Yeah.
I need to know what it is.
Okay, so, I used to hate The Bachelor because I'm a cool
Oh, yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
And I was a cool
Yeah.
guy.
Well, you were a cool
Yeah, yeah.
guy.
And then-
now you're just an enlightened fella.
And then I'd come home and you were watching one of the good seasons.
Yeah.
You know, I think
Yeah.
Ben or...
Sure. Ben was a pretty decent one.
Yeah. But that's like when
Nick
JoJo
was a pretty
there.
decent one. Yeah.
I didn't keep up with all of them.
No, but you got some really
but I
good
would come home
Bachelor
from
ABC
I'd
television.
come home from trivia. We'd watch
Yeah.
The Bachelor.
Yep.
I'd get pretty mad.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, that was pretty funny because...
I just want to say for a while there, it was my thing where like you go to Monday Night Trivia. I'd watch The Bachelor at Monday night. It was really nice. But then you got into it, like
Yeah.
really into it. And then I had to like hold off on watching it because you'd come home and you'd be like, has it started yet? And I'd be like, all right, okay. So now you are in. You're in on The Bachelor.
But this season, it's just so boring and the host is boring. And I think the main thing that I don't like...
The main guy is very
he's
boring.
just horrible. He's just all the cringe in one, and just like one of those guys who's just like gotten by somehow. And the things he does, it's just like
Delman hates a complacent
anyways.
human being. He really
not
does.
just complacent, but like he doesn't have a personality, and it doesn't matter. What I don't like about it as well is that he is such a stick in the mud, this guy.
Oh, he's a real
and this
goob.
guy would
He's a goob.
never in real life get any girls. Like, not that matters, or boys. He's not interesting.
Sure.
He's selfish.
Sure.
He's constantly being like, all these girls are here for me. And it's just like really weird. And you can tell like they're all throwing themselves at him. Not that it matters,
It's
but
part of the show. Yeah.
I know. But also it's like he's looking really good because all the producers are like setting it up for him.
Of
And so for
course.
me, I think the thing we used to like with the old Bachelor was not only was the host like here's a knife, go back in there, and like Chris was like, he always would
he
stir
stirred
it
the
up.
pot. He'd stir it up.
And he
big
was
time.
super cringe. And even when they'd come
Sure.
to him and be like, please help, he'd give him like horrible advice and be like, get back out there, kid.
He'd be like, do you want to come back on the show and ruin it for everyone? And they're like, I think I do. Yeah.
Trust me, like this is gonna ruin you. Yeah,
It's
no,
gonna be the
but
most dramatic season ever. Yeah.
But you need that in this world. And that's why anyone watched it, and they'd always have these crazy people that you hated, and that's what kept you around.
Sure.
This one, it's like a bunch of people with no personalities come into a house that was decorated by a person with no personality.
Sure.
And then they just talk at each other, talking about their own stories, and then he votes for whoever he thinks is the hottest.
It's new and it's fresh, so I will say I'm hoping there's a villain. I'm hoping like producers do a good job of finding some person that is going to be painted as a villain, especially if he's going to be very like lackluster.
What I think, if there's any producers watching,
if you're a Bachelor producer and you're currently watching Favorite Cheese Podcast or listening to Favorite Cheese Podcast, perk up your little ears, Tootsie Pop.
think what we should do is we should still go on trips. We should still take them to Belgium
Puerto
or whatever.
Vallarta! Yeah.
And instead of doing all the work, it's like, hey guys, Ben is staying in his hotel.
Sure.
You're staying in your hotel.
Great. I love it.
And you guys are gonna like do all of it by yourselves. Like we're not here anymore. I mean, we're
you gotta
filming.
plan it out.
You gotta figure out how to
You're
get there.
in a new country. You gotta figure it out.
Oh my gosh! You took the bus.
You took the wrong.
What?
You took the wrong train
she
to
could
this.
be really impressed. It's like, yeah, actually, I figured out how to speak Flemish, or something. And then it's like, that's so cool. He can get around.
Sure.
Or we got lost, or the car broke down, and it like if you want to really test your love, like literally like have your SIM card go out in the middle of Ireland when you're going around a roundabout, and then you're lost in freaking Limerick, Ireland.
You're only speaking from experience. And we're all screaming at each other.
Or like try and go to Romania and have the train leave right before you get there. Like, and then see like.
And now you have to wait 9.5 hours at a bus stop.
Because like for us, it's like we befriended these like stray dogs, and we like
had a great time.
We fell in love more, but like there was definitely another universe where like a couple's like, what?
This is it. When we get back to the States, we're done. Yeah.
I've met him. I've met him on my travels. So I just think like a more interesting Bachelor would be like a Survivor Bachelor mashup, where it's kind of like, we dropped him off.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be scary.
Are they going to make it?
Sadly, for Americans, it could probably be pretty simple. It could be like, we dropped him off in Canada.
No, I was going to say Missouri. Yeah, Canada. And they're like, does anybody speak English here?
Oh my God, they just keep yelling at me.
I'm just going to say everyone's been very nice and it's totally sus.
Yeah. I ordered nachos and they brought poutine. Yeah.
Ew.
Anyway, that's kind of good.
Bridget ordered nachos and she said that she didn't know what poutine is. And I just think it's like the meanest thing in the entire world. Like, who doesn't know what that is? That's
Anyways,
so rude. That's
Ben and
so
I
rude.
are falling in love.
We're falling in love. I'm falling in love with more than one person. That's always what it is. Well, especially with this particular guy.
Or them getting like ripped off and then him being like, I can't believe that cab driver turned off the tab the whole
she's
time.
Like, he's been a real asshole about money this whole time. He's been a buzzkill.
Yeah. If you can't look good when producers are producing all your dates,
I think
then you got nothing.
Then you got, well, especially this guy in particular. Look, I'm going to sound like I'm ragging on him, but he really was... Yeah. I didn't even remember who he was from the other ones. And they were like, it's Kerbal. And you're like, who is this guy? And then in the beginning of this show, I thought it was very funny because they literally were like, a little bit about him. And because they realized that like no one knew who the hell he was. They were like, he had a trampoline when he was 4 and a half.
It was so sad.
So weird.
The resume. He starred in
Hello Dolly. And you're like, he has a mom.
His
and you're
favorite
like,
movie is The Pelican Brief. You're like, what is this?
I don't care about this guy at all. And then they kept being like, Chase seems like he's like a really good guy because no one knows who anything is.
And that TV is honestly like, it's like crack. That's how crappy and low hanging and shitty it is.
It's delicious bubblegum for your brain.
But the truth about it is like it's really easy to get addicted to that sort of stuff. So when it's bad, you're just like, this is not like it could be easy. But
look,
anyway,
I think
so that's what's unbelievable, and I can't bear it.
Yeah.
And I'm probably gonna just stop watching because I'm out.
Look,
I'm going to paradise.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You're just waiting. I do think you're waiting for Paradise. This is your interim to find out who's going to be on Paradise. I will say this, and look, I'll stand on this soapbox. You're welcome. I'm waiting for like any sort of thick woman to be on that show.
Yeah.
Like that blows my mind. Like they're all the tiniest little cuties, and you're like, that's fine, but like, there's no one's got a booty on that show, and like. People like a booty.
I'm out.
I know. You're fully out.
There's no
You're
one
done.
that I would be into.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just saying.
I also want to know how far I would go. If it was a different world, I want to know if
God, I would be tanked the first day because I'd be getting everyone to do parties inside and they'd be like, hey, Lee, like.
Well, you'd be hard because a lot of the guys on there are like super stiff.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe I could get by being like the funny.
You'd be the funny guy.
He was kind of funny. Like,
and then like they would
I didn't know if he was joking or actually making fun
of me.
You know what?
I know exactly what would happen. You would make it like pretty far because you're so cute.
And I'd be like, I've been married this whole time.
They're like, you did this weird
it was
magic
a bet.
trick.
Yeah. It was pretty cool though.
I'm into
that would be
I'm
my
taking
intro.
him home to meet my dad.
Pick a card.
Pick a card. My name's Andrew.
Yeah.
Gross. Could you imagine? Would you go by Andrew on that? Or do you just go by Delman, right?
Yeah, I'd go by Delman.
Good for you.
And they'd be like, that was so weird.
It's so weird, but I remembered it. Yeah. Look, what I'm saying, because I know this so well, you would make it like 8 weeks in, and people would just be like, he's funny, he's cute, he's whatever. And literally then there'd be that confessional where they'd be like, Delman kind of like came out of nowhere. Like, I really, he's like fun. And of course he's like the funny guy, but like, I'm really starting to like grow to like become attached to him. And like, can I see a future with him? Yeah.
And then Chris Harrison would come out and be like, we had to send Delman home because he was smoking joints around the pool by the children. We kept telling him no, but he said he didn't even want to be here.
Flicking him into the pool and saying, get me the hell out of here, Harrison.
Yeah, and then he got really, really showboaty, and he was eating shrimp and just throwing them into the
He vomited into the cabana.
He says he's not sorry. He wishes you were the queen bee, but you're not.
And he just gave us both middle fingers. He gave us one middle
thumbs down and shook his head.
And he walked away.
Anyways, he can't get sick or
yeah,
something?
He's probably going to be the Bachelor the next season, honestly. We love this guy.
Back.
Okay, we're diving into the melting pot. Look, I'm
Yes.
really excited. I will say that
Yes.
I think I'd actually do pretty well on that show. I wouldn't be able to play any of the weird games that they play. They like make girls box and they make them fight in Jello pudding and any
Yeah.
of that. I think I'd get by only because I'd befriend all the girls in there, and then I'd turn them all against the Bachelor, and then we'd live in a commune. And
That'd be
then
hilarious.
there's the spinoff, Commune with
Yeah,
Lee.
that'd be
and
great.
then they'd be like, did she start a cult? And they'd be like, no, she just gave them empowerment.
Yeah, she just kind of told them that.
She just told them that they deserve
love
more and
themselves.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
And now they have a thriving community because look, we're going to get nurses, we're going to get dental hygienists, we're going to get content creators. Eventually, there's always like a pilot in there somewhere. We're going to have a whole, it's going to be
It's
really
gonna be weird.
fully fledged
It'll be
out.
the new version of the Village
Oh
People.
yeah,
but,
it's gonna be. I mean, look, we're gonna put us on an island. We're gonna thrive, baby.
There you go. All right, let's hop into some hypos or some
do you,
questions.
I got some questions.
Yeah.
Okay, someone said, "Oh, are you two watching anything on Netflix / Amazon, etc. lately?" I'm watching Last of Us.
Yeah, we watched Last of Us.
We watched The Last of Us. I loved the video game. I didn't play it as like thoroughly, obviously, as everyone else has, but I watched. This is one weird thing because I would have to for like jobs and stuff. I watched so much gameplay of The Last of Us, so I'm like very familiar with it, and I loved it then. And I remember thinking then, like, oh man, if they ever make this, I thought it was gonna be a movie, and I'm so glad it's a series. But I kept thinking, like, if they ever make it into something, like, I can't wait to see who plays this person or how it pans out. And I think they've been doing like a pretty friggin' fabulous job already. It's gotten me really good. And you know, I like already love apocalyptic stuff. So I was telling Delman, I was like, look, I just call it Sunday Last of Us Day, and it's my new addiction. It's my new absolute obsession. I'm on board.
Yeah. Triangle of Sadness I really liked, and I like The Menu. Those are both movies, but those are very
movies.
good. The English,
The
that
English was amazing.
Was really good.
I loved that. He was incredible.
Filmed. He was a great actor. The English,
beautifully shot. We loved it. We liked Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Pinocchio.
That was good.
Fantastic. Had a great time. Did not like Disney's Pinocchio. That was an absolute fucking fever dream.
Hanks is... I don't know what kind of COVID he got, but the movies after that have been interesting.
I think sometimes you get too big for your britches, and you have to like get people. It's important to hire, like much like every person that need a PR team. Someone needs a no team. Someone needs a team that literally like. I think every big person needs a team to be like, hey, no, don't do that. Hey, no, your accent's weird. Hey, no, that's creepy. Like they just need to know. You need a no guy. You know, I would love to be that person for someone.
That'd be an amazing job. But
you know how Rick Rubin's the guy
lost.
that's like makes a bunch of like really sick music? I'm the person that's like, hey, don't make that film. Look, we've been watching a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Also, we're now taking submissions on things that you want us to watch.
Yeah, we'd love to watch.
We'd
more
love.
stuff.
We're just gonna do a review show. That's all it is. It's a favorite cheese spinoff. Well, it's called What's Gouda.
I thought the photography of the film
I'm gonna be
was
honest,
a little undersaturated.
pedantic. Oh, this is just a hypothetical.
Let's do it.
You think so? You ready?
Yeah, please.
Okay. What rule would you impose if you were the world's king or queen?
I don't know, man.
See, it's hard.
I mean, I know, like, it's so lame, but I'd be like, be nice to others. How you'd want to be treated yourself. Like, but how you going to, so. Yeah. I guess just everyone's my slave. If I can't do one.
Okay.
Power
It's
revoked. One or the other.
Power
Well,
revoked.
I tried to do it the right way.
I was just going to say, like, you know, no weapons is literally what I was going to say. But, you know, people will find a way. You know, if I'm the king or queen, I don't know. Look, I have never said I want a position of power, okay? I've never claimed that, except for that time that I said I was going to make a bachelorette society full of bachelor contestants.
You wouldn't be in control, would you?
You know, no, because I
just like a community-based
but I do think that in the beginning I would probably
you still vote for people to leave?
Absolutely. If Tiffany
you didn't get a rose.
If Tiffany is making a problem, Tiffany's gonna get voted out.
You're out.
I'm sorry, Tiffany. You didn't pull your weight. So bye. Tough nuts.
Yeah.
We all had a hard week. We've all single psyched, and this is a nightmare, Tiffany. You think you're the only one that gets to have the privilege of being useless in the scenario? Pull your weight. Welcome.
See, I'd probably watch this. Yeah, this sounds pretty intense.
Right?
Pretty what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Bachelorette island.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, not paradise.
No,
I'm talking about an
this
island.
is the opposite
This
of
is
paradise.
the opposite. We are now thriving on this island together.
It's crazy.
Can you do it with your press-on nails? We're going to find out, baby. What would you ask your future self in the year 2050 if you could ask just one question?
I mean, it would just be something sad like, are we happy?
They're like, out of everything, man,
Did it
the
work
robot
out?
wars happened.
Oh, I don't
and
care.
you, really?
Well, yeah, if I wasn't happy, it'd be like, no.
Yeah, what's the solution then?
Yeah. So then I'd be like, dang.
How do I make $1 million? Yeah, they didn't give us a word limit, did they?
No.
Okay.
And it's just like, if you're happy, that encapsulates everything.
That's really beautiful,
so,
Cheddar. I love that.
So hopefully
He's
it's like
I am.
He
I've
picks
been
up on it.
programmed by the robots
Yeah.
to be happy.
We did everything we planned out to do. It's all a success.
Geesh, 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 geesh,
Yeah.
geesh.
1 1 1 0 1
1 0 0 1
Yeah.
0.
What
Hugs.
about you?
Should I probably would ask something very similar? I'd probably be like, are we happy? Or I'd say like, what can I do to make you happier? Like,
Well,
what
you
can I
wouldn't
do
be
to make?
able to do
well,
that.
I'd say,
You
well, I'd
can't
say,
change
yeah.
your future.
No, you can.
Nope.
That's not a rule in there. I'd say, what can I do to ensure our happiness?
But how would that person know?
Because it's 2050.
You're
and
gonna
if they're
ruin
like
their
miserable
future.
in the 2050, then they'd
Well, yeah,
say
if
like,
they're
hey,
miserable.
invest in penny stocks. And I'd be like, cool, good to know.
Thanks
Or
for the
they'd be like,
specifics, Lee.
yeah, but I'd ask, what
no
can I
specific
do to
stocks
ensure
can
our
I do right
happiness?
now to make us
And if
rich?
she was like, don't have kids, I'd be like, thanks,
Yeah.
future Lee. Or if she was
What
like,
if she was like,
have
you
14
yeah.
dogs on a dog farm, I'd be like,
Yeah.
good. I've been pitching
Yeah.
this to my husband for years
What
now.
if she was like, it's good. It's fine. Works out. You're good.
I'd be like, cool, you wasted my question. Once again, I know you.
Okay.
You're a monster.
Wow.
Why don't you want, and then I would overanalyze it because it's my brain, and I'd be like, "Why didn't you want to give me specifics? Were you in duress?
Well, okay.
Were you like, was
This
there
is
an
a-
overlord that
Yeah.
like told you what to say in order to do that? Are they watching us on the time traveling like network, on the network of time
Yeah,
travelers?
I guess I'd have questions on how this meeting came to be.
that you can't use your one question.
No,
for
I
the
wouldn't.
hell of
But
meeting.
no. But before I would agree to just join up
Sure.
for this meeting, I'd be like, "How did we get this person?"
Because
in
if
the
you
future?
like,
Are we
literally,
sure it's me?
if they like found a way to time travel and found
What would
a
your
way
secret
to
be?
jump.
What would you ask them? Your secret question that you know it was
Oh my
you.
god, that's such a good idea.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, it's either going to be something like dark or serious or going to be like, what did... Oh, I know what it would be. And I don't think anyone would know. Interesting. I would be like, what was there was a bedtime story that my dad used to tell me as a kid that he made up. And I'd be like, what was the theme, like the name of the main character?
The Bible. Jesus.
No, it wasn't. Turns out no.
Dang it, I'm not
he
future
probably
Lee.
should have done that more.
Yeah.
No, it was no, he made up like an entire person. Yelsa Isor Notwin. He did my name backwards, and he literally like it was an opposite world, and he built an opposite world. Like she had a brother named Bocaz, she had a sister named Harris. Everyone had
Your siblings'
backwards
names.
names. Yeah, and it was like the coolest thing ever. And I would be like, hey, what? And like I'd be
Yeah.
like, tell me some themes of that, because I still remember that. Like I would write that down as a children's book, because he was great. He's great
Yeah.
at it. Now everyone knows. Great. My future, someone's gonna come and they're gonna.
Mine
be like,
would
hey.
be my great uncle used to ask us this really weird question that no one understood, but he would go, "What's the difference between a duck?" That's the question he would ask you, and if you got the answer he was looking for, he'd give you like $5.
What
or
was
something.
the answer he was looking for?
The left foot's both the same.
What's the difference of a duck? The left foot's both the
What's the
same.
difference between a duck? The left foot's both the same, and he would say that was a joke.
That's not a joke.
It was for him. He loved it.
All right. Well, look, you better tell future self that.
Left foot's
I'm
both
just
the
saying,
same.
if they did so much work where it's like we're time traveling, we
Yeah.
are bending light fragments, baby, and then you go to 2050 and you have one opportunity.
I'd say, what was your first sex dream?
And they'd be like, bees. Is
You
that
got high
that's your
four,
one
high
question?
four.
Get out of
We
here.
didn't get sick, did we? Because we gave up that finger.
God, no.
Would you rather Danny DeVito or Danny Trejo play you in a movie?
Oh my God, Danny DeVito. Any day of my life, Danny DeVito. Are you kidding me?
I mean, that makes sense.
He's a legend. He's an icon. He is honestly one of the funniest people in the world. He's so sweet.
For me, it'd have to be Trejo, I think.
Yeah, because no one, because also not in a mean way, but like absolutely no one would cast Danny Trejo as you in a movie.
And no one would cast Danny DeVito as you. You're like, there's a possibility
Danny
this could
DeVito
happen.
for me makes more sense than Danny Trejo for you. And that's a fact.
That is a fair.
That's a real
but also,
fact.
I feel like they both make sense in a way.
Honestly, though, if
we're both on vacation and we could get Trejo and DeVito.
If I will say this, if it could be a movie about our love and it's Danny DeVito and Danny Trejo, so we're both in it, I would actually really be on board with that. That's where I would want to see it.
That's another
thrive.
level of Hollywood.
Yeah, I don't think
You're
I
like,
don't know.
guys, our love story.
Sorry,
we wrote
guys.
it. We need this casting.
I mean, that happens a lot in Hollywood where like, especially now with the Oscars have been overwhelmingly like Capote, he gets an Oscar. He plays Capote, he gets an Oscar. He plays, Freddie Mercury, he gets an Oscar. He play it's always like biopic type stuff, where you're like, all right, that's fine. Money. I'm just saying, if you want to play Lee Newton and you're Danny DeVito, I smell an Oscar in the air there.
I don't know.
There's a lot. There's torture. There's drama. There's
but I don't. No offense, you're not Freddie Mercury status or Elvis status or any of that stuff. So.
You don't know that.
Well, like other people have played people, but
I've had a very colorful life.
Yeah, no, you totally have, and maybe in the future, but right now,
it's a pretty mediocre ending. It's like, and then she started.
Then she made a podcast, and it was going pretty well. And anyways,
wow,
yeah,
I'm just saying, there's grit, there's drama, there's heaviness, there's plenty of room there for a lot of that. And also, it's going to be spicy.
All right. You got any other sexy questions?
This is actually really fun because it's from our YouTube. David Sinkarson says, or Sinkarson, I don't know. Sinkarson says, question for the melting pot.
Yes.
Oh, cute. If you were stuck as one of your original characters, Scuzz, PJ Gert, Aunt Carol, etc., for the rest of your life, who would you be?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Look, that's a really good question. I will say I might have to lob it up to you. Not completely to you, but who would you want to live with for the rest of your life?
Well, Scuzz is over there, but
Scuzz
luckily
is
he
over
doesn't
there.
talk.
He's just hanging out. If he was just like, hey, how are you? He'd be
probably Aunt Carol. She gets down.
She drinks
some wine and
she
gets
frisky.
Rowdy. Yeah.
She's a lot, but she'd be really frisky for you. So that's good. That's really.
She likes to play games.
She'd spice it up.
She's optimistic. Yeah.
She's a delight. She might have a problem, but that's okay.
No. Yeah.
Personally, I'd probably want to live as her for the rest of my life, just because she seems like she is a life of the party. She's got a lot of opinions. PJ Gert is 2 in her head, and Scuzz. As much as I would actually love to live in a world as a Muppet and as a puppet, and that he is still a puppet and he can't really do many things for himself. So
yeah,
but then again,
without having a hand up his.
Yeah, that's not what's important. Okay, it's not the focus of the crisis.
But it'd be fun because then you'd
see everything with childlike wonder.
Yeah, I mean, you already do that because all of your characters are a part of you. So technically. You're all your characters.
It'd have to be Aunt Carol. But then, I'm going to be honest, she drinks more than I do. So that's going to be the pickle.
That's why it'd be fun for me.
Yeah, you'd have a great partner. She'd be like, we're just getting hammered,
sweetie.
Have
some wine.
But this woman, I will say, I don't think Aunt Carol's a good cook. I think she cooks really weird. She flops little baby mini hot dogs. She pours a lot of wine. Yeah, wine and mini hot dogs.
I love your cooking. I love your cooking. You're a great cook.
That's so sweet.
But and I don't want to give that up, and I don't want to give you up, but I also don't mind corn dogs every day. So me and Carol could definitely just have chicken omelets and corn dogs.
She's like, honey, do you want the corn dogs again? Yeah. God, this guy loves corn dogs.
We would go to Vegas a lot, I think.
Yeah, you would. You'd not be hemorrhaging money. Yeah.
Who cares? At that point, it doesn't matter.
Live it up, baby.
Yeah.
Live it up.
That's great.
She likes to wear ball gowns. She likes to get dressed up.
Yeah,
she likes to celebrate her birthday.
She loves a high school reunion.
She loves a high school reunion. Are you kidding me? I'm the life of the party. I plan them every year. I go every year too.
I was the high school president. That was my heyday.
That's my heyday. That's my life. I thrive in those situations. Yeah, that's a great question, and I loved every second. Thank you so much. That's also a reminder that you can ask questions on our YouTube. This is a really important one, Cheddar, and I don't know if you're going to be able to answer it because it's heavy, so I am apologizing in advance because it's been any such a delightful thing.
I'm a wide
What's
open
your
book.
Favorite cookie of all time?
I guess it would be like a sea salt chocolate chip cookie.
Wow.
Yeah, I like that one from Trader Joe's. Is good, but any chocolate chip has to be soft. I don't like the hard ones.
Yeah,
and
good. Really say it like you mean it, buddy. Good.
My friend used to make these things called like poop cookies or shit cookies or something. That doesn't
sound right at all.
And it was like chocolate and oats.
Oh,
and
yeah. We called those ugly cookies.
Yeah. Those were
because we weren't allowed to say poop at home.
Those were good too. So just anything good and soft.
Wow. Is there any that are off the list?
Who is going to be like, no cookies?
I'm telling you right now, if this was your Bachelor bio and they'd be like, what's your favorite cookie? And you're like, anything soft.
Back up,
they'd be like, this guy's boring.
Chips Ahoy soft.
Chewy. It's not called soft. They're called
Shut up.
Ahoy
Don't
chewy.
Correct me.
Oh my God. He's a misogynist. Get him fired immediately.
I actually don't eat a lot of cookies or desserts or sugar.
Oh my God. That's even more boring than the actual answer.
It's a real thing.
Actually,
how about the cookies I make for you, babe? Yeah.
One thing that Delman's been doing that is utterly disturbing and wonderful is instead of saying babe, he's going child friend.
No, I'll be like, what's up, babe? And then I'll start it with babe, and I'll be like, my little baby.
My little baby.
My little child.
Okay, my favorite cookie of all the time. Thank you so much for asking, Delman.
Well, it was a question for both
of us. Thank you that's very sweet, Cheddar. Yeah. I got a lot of opinions on this, and you know it very well. I love a white chocolate macadamia.
Oh, yeah.
People shit on oatmeal raisin. Screw you, man. Those have a place, and they're good, and I like them, okay? I love a snickerdoodle. I love an oatmeal pie. There's not many cookies that I don't like, and that's a fact. Same. Chocolate chip.
I just don't like hard ones, like super hard.
Get out of here with your crunchy.
Yeah,
that's a cracker.
Yeah. Would you rather have another 10 years with your partner or a one-night stand with your celebrity crush?
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. A one-night stand with my celebrity crush?
I'm out. Dylan.
Could you imagine? That's also like 10 years with your partner. Like, how beautiful is that?
They're saying, would you like another 10 years?
I'll take another 10 years. That means that we'll have 10 years.
But I had sex with Bon Jovi.
I don't know if you've ever heard of a little guy called Bon Jovi. So, sayonara to the kids.
Sorry, Simon. You're a good guy. But me, halfway there, living on a prayer, bitch.
And she's like, it wasn't very good, honestly.
He was bad. He cried a lot.
He cried a lot. And he just said, you think I'm cool, right? Over and over again.
Turns out celebrities are just like us.
No, 10 years with my partner where you get to know and love them so deeply. And you get to be like, oh my God, we got through 10 years together. And like, how intimate. And like, what is this life for if not to just explore every single facet of love and the pathos and the ethos and every bit of it. But absolutely, I'd sleep with Chris Evans.
Yeah, I'd give you up for Vanna White in a heartbeat. So.
Vanna White?
I mean, I gotta crash. I gotta start somewhere.
You have a type.
Before we skedaddle, what is your favorite cheese?
I feel like I would need to diversify my cheeses if I'm being honest. Yeah. Like, I feel like we both have had this conversation where we've been like, we gotta start getting into some stinky stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But there is a manchego that we've had, and it's pretty good, and it's delicious, and it's light, and it's refreshing, and it feels good. It feels great on your lips and tongue and teeth. And if you shave it finely enough over a bed of arugula and some baked chicken sausages with a little crostini crouton.
Getting complicated.
No, not at all. It's 5 items. It's just a mushroom, a baked sausage, it's some croutons, it's some arugula, and some manchego. And you're having the time of your life, honey.
I'm keeping mine trashy, and I'm just saying mac and cheese. That's not
a real real favorite
Well,
cheese.
the type of cheese that goes on.
Velveeta, then.
Sure.
That's yours?
Either
Good
that
for
or
you.
Kraft, just like dirt cheese, trash cheese on top of noodles. Cheese noodles. Mac and cheese.
We've been around the world. We've eaten a lot of cuisine.
Yeah.
We've diversified our palates a
Yeah.
lot. We've been to at least 10 countries.
Yeah.
Buttered noodles,
Mm-hmm.
cheesy noodles,
Yeah.
still slap.
Yep. They slap.
Thank you so much for listening, watching, and purveying. We love you more than anything.
Please tell us your
in this
sex
world.
dreams and
I'm not positive. Actually, I'm open to it. Hell yeah.
No, but we take your comments and compliments and we read them all, and we love that we're building this and we're trying real hard. So keep coming and hanging out. We'll have some guests soon.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I think Danny DeVito and Trejo are going to be on soon.
This couch.
Jeremy
as us.
Renner is going to be on.
Yeah.
We got a lot of good stuff. So
I love you.
love you.